slow down for the first time, owing a lot to policies, regulation, etc. So one key challenge is that for Aircel particularly, Aircel used to be a regional player till 4 years back, working out of Chennai and rest of Tamil Nadu. And in the last 4 years, it went through hyper growth of becoming a pan-India operator with spread of 8 businesses at a bank, and then there onwards into more territories. But again, in the last 2 years, it's more like consolidating and dealing with these challenges. So particularly looking at talent issues, one of the issues is around exciting people in this phase where hyper growth is not happening for telecom, and getting your high potentials and critical talent to be retained is one of the challenges that we are dealing with, and that's pretty much common across, I think. But telecom is specific, so I'm sure Sumit will agree with the part that I'm talking about. The other is that because we've grown, parts of Aircel have grown as a 10-year organization, parts are 5-year, though similar business, same business, there are parts which are just 2-year. So there is different maturity phases which exist in the business. Now, how do we integrate all of this into the same similar culture and similar processes is one of the other challenges that we are facing. Although it does provide us with the opportunity of cross-fertilizing our talent and experiences for the talent across. So that's the second one that I'll talk about. Of course, some of the things that we will probably get down to discussing is about how do people see development and careers, which is the key question, and the key question that answers retention also. So we've also focused at T-skilling, as we call it in the organization, in terms of horizontal, diagonal, vertical growth. We're looking at specialist versus generalist career paths so that people get off the scope of being people managers and growing. And in various organizations, I've looked at qualification enhancement as a great way of managing retention. So as we move forward, specifically I would like to talk about that. That also integrates with the academia, so that would be it. So specifically it is integrating these different parts of the organization to give our people a different and segmented sort of experience and retention.
Yeah, my name is A.D. Burman, and I am looking after the people development area in Maruti Suzuki. So I think first a little bit about the company. We were market leaders since the inception. So last 30 years, and we have grown in this 30 years about 25 times. We've got 12,000 employees. If you look at the statistics, 38% market share would mean that 1 in every 3 of us present here would be probably owning a Maruti car. It's been I'll come to myself. I look after the people development, like I said. I am engineer, also an MBA by profession. But I have also worked, other than HR, I have also worked in the business side. So I've got a business exposure. Coming to the challenges, I think interestingly many of our challenges would match. The first is getting people with the right capability. When we are hiring GTs, we hire about 500 GTs in a year. And they're getting the right sort of quality of people that come into our company and the right sort of feet in the job, the right capability. From the colleges, there's a gap. Then there's a gap in expectation. All the engineers that come in, they would all like to become, MBAs, or they would like to go for the civil services. So third, fourth year, they're already trying, desperately trying to get into either an MBA or the civil services. If you look at the MBAs themselves, when they join, they also have a very high aspiration. They would like to become a department head in 5 years' time and a managing director in 10 years' time. And manufacturing, that of course is not happening. It's quite a slow process over there. So that aspiration is a sort of challenge. Then if you look at, as a large organization, we are poaching grounds. All the new entrants that come in, we have a whole lot of competition that we have faced over this last 30 years. First, I would say about 20 years odd, say from 1984 to about 1998, it was more of a seller's market. And therefore, we were able to just sell cars and focus on production numbers. But post that, it changed into a buyer's market, and intense competition is happening. With intense competition, the focus on quality and focus on the services that we provide along with the car is happening. Now, when the new entrants came in this competitive era, whether it was Hyundai who came in or Ford or Fiat, any of the companies that came in, they actually first required to set up their factories or plants. So they required people who would come in from the civil area, the production engineering area, set up their factories. So they would poach from us those people. Next, they had to produce cars. So they would poach people from our manufacturing area. Next, they had to sell the cars. So they would poach from our marketing and sales area. In fact, the head of sales, whether in Honda or Hyundai or Fiat, all belongs to our company. So they have been passed, from us. So we have been sort of providing the talent. And this is, of course, another big challenge. I think this poaching, the losing of talent that we have. So I think, there is a mixture of elements of challenges in terms of getting the right talent, getting the right attitude or the thinking that probably when they're during the academia can help, develop the right set of attitude when they join us. And this attrition that we face where we lose people in large numbers to other companies. So I think that's all I had to share.
I'll just take 2 seconds. So I'm Tarun, I take care of business development at Time Jobs. And one thing that is a common string that worries me is that outside of healthcare and FMCG, most of the industries are seeing tempered or lesser growth as such. At Time Jobs, we've been doing this forums over the last 2 years where we were actually earlier focusing on industry verticals. So we had real estate last time and this time it's diversified. So as a media house and an HR solution provider, we aspire that we connect and amplify how academia can incubate and help the industry and what are the challenges. And one common string, and I'll quickly end, is that whether it's Generation Z and their aspirations that I want to move in 1 year, which is challenging the industry as a common main area, and second is that I'm eligible but I'm suitable for the job. So we have an inventory pool, but when they move to the next level, do they have the skills and whether they are capable of moving to the next level? The common things that I've got across industries.
Yes, taking it forward, really some of the words that really came about is differentiated, career building, differential career building, horizontal growth, alternate career capabilities, and do they have all this? So which really brings us to not everybody needs to grow vertically. There are career options that are alternate career options horizontally or diagonally. So there are a lot of IIMs and Symbiosis and a whole lot of other well-known organizations that have jumped into it. At this juncture, I want to get Sonali into the discussion. She'll be giving the academia perspective, what is out there and what are the challenges they face to take this discussion forward so that we could look at more solutions so that we can actually upskill people if required and bring down retention. Yes,
thanks, Nilanjana. Hi, I'm Sonali Hingorani. I head the business development and strategy with Symbiosis Center for Distance Learning, in particular their online learning strategies. Yeah, we are a group with I belong to the Open Education Society where we focus on skill development, we focus on vocational education, and we focus on online education. We are one of the leading distance education providers with over 2 lakh students all across the world, that is across 48 countries. That's about Symbiosis. Now the challenges that we face, right? The challenges that we face is primarily global learners and the pedagogy for global learners. We have employees traveling, employees looking at lateral growth. We have employees in a global environment. So what is the pedagogy and how we could kind of connect with corporates to get the pedagogy right, in addition to face-to-face time, what online learning we could offer to employees. So that's one of the challenges. And secondly, the challenges that we second challenge that we face is, reskilling of people, and to be able to allow, retention in organizations. We've done a bit of reskilling for organizations. We've done this for IBM, we've done for Wipro with Cognizant, where entry level people are reskilled to managerial. We've also taken up reskilling for Bharti Walmart, where we kind of build in retail management skills to shop floor people as well. So it is the lower level people being trained on retail management, because everybody now wants to be a manager. So, after a year or two, how do we get them hired? Now, one very important thing with Bharti was that, their people are all across the globe. With Walmart. So, how do we offer them learning all across the globe? So that was one of the challenges that we faced, and we kind of addressed that with virtual classrooms. Then we're also doing a super specialized course with Cipla. So this is a managerial course, and with a pharma specialization that we've come up with. So again, reskilling. But we realized that there are a lot of opportunities on reskilling, and we need to connect. The challenge is to connect with the corporate to, provide opportunities for reskilling and to be able to live up to these opportunities.
So taking the discussion forward, I'm sure corporates on their own also have, on-the-job training, skilling, creating a brand, helping with HR, probably, sits and says, a career, we can talk about a career chart. This is how you could build your career, especially if it's a product company, IT services, everybody wants product. Oh my God, why 2 years later they want to move? So I'm sure you already have some of those processes in. Where do you feel you faced a challenge there in those processes? What are those processes, and where are the challenges really you're faced with? Anybody you would like to?
See, this is a real challenge, because when you bring in freshers, they are not very clear. Once they come into the corporate world, they are still confused about what they are looking for, and you have to do a lot of counseling, and you have to spend time in terms of guiding them in terms of what their career plan be. And most of the time we face that they are hung up on that MBA degree, and we have to really tell them that you can make a career in the industry without having that degree, right? It's you can look at a technical or a specialized career even in IT without going in for MBA. And somehow our experience has been particularly with the fresh candidates, that about 25% of them, after 2 years, because we have a service bond with them, so they tend to leave. 10% leave after a year, they don't bother, but 25% is the average I've seen, is that they leave. They want to go in for either a more specialized course or MBA. So here is where your proposition which you are talking about, we are struggling with it. We did try to come up with the options of tying up and offering that as a value proposal, that within the company you can do these courses, but you don't get that critical mass. Even though we recruit close to around 250 people every year in terms of the fresh intake, but still we are not able to get that critical mass, because we are spread across 5-6 locations. And that's where I think the concept of virtual classroom which you are talking about, I think we'll have to seriously evaluate that. We have spoken to a couple of institutes, because we feel that if we are able to offer this option to them, we'll be able to retain at least 90%, right? That 10% will still go abroad and go to ISB and all those places. You cannot stop that, but at least majority you will be able to offer that. So we did come out with two things. One is we launched a career framework. We call that career management program as My Career, My Responsibility, because we feel that the career of the individual is not manager's responsibility or the organization's responsibility. It is his individual responsibility. We as an organization, as managers and from HR and from all other function, can enable that, can support that, because his career interest is very unique to him. So we go with that philosophy, that let us know what is your career interest, and then take him forward through that journey in terms of offering the support, offering that opportunities, so that he is able to live his dream. That we have launched recently, about 2 years back. So the journey is still on. We realized one of the challenges was in assessments, and that's where we have tied up now to with the Harrison assessment came in, and we saw that it gives us a good fit there to ensure that we are very objective in our assessments. So one challenge we addressed by doing that. Then we also tied up for various technical assessment, because it's not just about behavioral assessment, it's also about technical assessment at the junior and the middle management level. So that also we have put in place. So a lot of focus is happening on objective assessment of this, and on the basis of that give feedback to people and come up with certain interventions, so that we are able to provide them those opportunities where they are able to live their career within the company. So that experience of career within the company is something we are still working on. I won't say that our framework is very robust, but we are plugging in gaps there through various learnings which we have experienced or the problem which we have faced, and trying to make it workable for our people. So it is working right now, but I can't say that it is 100% because of us. Might be the environment is also playing a role, because the opportunities outside are not in abundance. So that is also helping us. So this time the attrition for last 2 years is less than 10% or so, which is very good for us. But otherwise, I don't know.
So, I mean, a similar philosophy that we have in Schneider. So, you know, for us also what we say is that you're responsible for your own development. So we also have the same philosophy. So, and just so that we understand the context, Schneider is accumulation of sales, R&D as well as manufacturing. So scenario in terms of people challenges are very different. Now when we come to our sales people, so typically in terms of, you know, we really look into how is it that we want to grow them. So one is that, as I said, that we have two different kind of businesses. So you have the product and you have the solution. So our biggest challenge was how is it that we can make our people also venture into solution, because the skilling that you require in terms of the solution businesses is different. So therefore we have in-house programs. So we do have in-house solution, you know, we have tied up at the global level, whereby we encourage people to get certification. So that's a different kind of certification that we have for our solution people. While when we talk about transactional, it's a different certification. So we have actually made it, you know, we made 2 career ladders at least for our salespeople, so that, you know, they look forward to that, because vertical progression is something that you know, people want, but obviously it's not possible. Having said that, what we also encourage is that you know, we have a very robust internal job mobility policy. So therefore, as I said, going back to the fact that whereby we're saying that you're responsible for your own career. So whereby we say that, okay, typically you have a 3 years time frame to be within a particular job. After that, we have a facility whereby you can broaden your horizons, you can look for opportunities outside your own businesses, outside also in terms of vertical, when we are saying from sales into marketing, or even when it sales into manufacturing. So the good point or the benefit that we have in the organization is that we had such varied roles which are existing in Schneider Electric, that people really don't need to go outside per se. The opportunities are large within that. So this is more in terms of, you know, career progression, and more in terms of the opportunities which are available. We also have very robust assessment methodologies. So when we talk about talents and we talk about development,